Welcome everybody to the newsletter. I am Christine McIver. I'm the owner, one of the producers, and one of the hosts here on the Inspired Choices Network. And with me is Keisha Clark. Hey, Keisha.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Christine.
Hi. So nice to see you. So Keisha is one of the producers here on the network. She's also a creator of many of our beautiful social media posts, which you are so talented at. And she's also a host. She is the host of Aligning Divine. And this week, Keisha is the featured host. Woo woo! Keisha! I love your show. I love your show. I love, for me personally, I mean, I know you and I've heard you speak many, many times, many of your radio shows, but what's very different about the creation of Aligning Divine is I really don't get a sense of what you're going to talk about each week. and that's her beautiful co-host that you just heard, Lily talking. But it's not that there isn't some direction to your show. It's that it's so vast. It's so wide open about where you're coming from that it's like, oh, what is she going to do now? So tell everybody about Aligning Divine.
Yeah, it is a vast array of topics, but all coming under the sort of umbrella of this aligning with our divine, aligning with that soul essence of us. And, you know, we are in a time where here on this planet Earth playground, as I like to say it, we are really asking more. More of us are asking, and we're asking for more of that connection in our everyday life. So Aligning Divine, when it landed in my world, it let me know that it was really about having the joy of lining up with your essence and living it every day. And we do a lot of that kind of discovery process. A lot of us do. That's much more popular now than it used to be, right? And we do it out in the open, even like we have social conversations about it. But we don't really talk a lot about bringing it into your everyday, because we get kind of, it's easy to get compartmentalized into the spiritual and the woo and the out there, and then there's the real world, right?
Right.
So we tend to kind of chop it off there.
Yes.
And what I love to do is blow the parameters off of that. So as you mentioned, you've heard me for a while now, because I've been a host with this network for some time. Started in 2014 with the first incarnation of the show, which was Living Well. And then about a year into that, the next incarnation, which was Living Beyond Linear. So we're sort of progressing here.
Yes.
And then I took about a year off to just essentially, you know, experience my life and regroup. And then this show, Aligning Divine, just really started to speak to me and wave at me and tap me on the head and say, it's time. And it feels like that's a piece that a lot of us are missing, is we have all these beautiful conversations. We do all of this wonderful discovery and exploration and excavation, and we get these amazing awarenesses and we make these connections, but we sort of leave that part of us at the door in many respects. Mm-hmm. And I want to be inviting people to bring it in, you know, into every part of us, every part of our life and living and our creations, and really bringing more of our consciousness to the experiencing of our lives.
Right. And I think what a lot of us do is we don't actually bring it in until we hit crisis.
Exactly.
Deep crisis.
Yeah. And so, you know, let's just like ixnay the terminal illnesses and terminal illness experience for that to be our invitation to actually choosing this, right? Let's choose it consciously and actively every day and live from that energy of being connected and having our awareness and having more of our spectrum of possibilities to play with and create from.
Perfect.
So, and that can look any way for any one of us. There's no there's no one size fits all in that respect.
Okay.
So that's part of what we play with on the show, is really tapping into, getting aware of, connecting with what is our way, what is organically normal and natural for each of us. And so my shows are not really about telling you how you should do something. It's more about really encouraging and supporting and hopefully inspiring you to discover how is your way. And then we go about how do we integrate that, you know? And that's where we can take it even further. And the work that I do beyond the show is working with people to really get in touch with our knowing, get in touch with that authenticity of us, that essence of us, and then learning to build our trust of that so we can be using it.
Well, you are fabulous at that.
Thank you.
No doubt about that. I'm fabulously happy that you are on the network, because for a long time I was like, Keisha.
Yes. I was kind of noticing that too.
Yeah. You mean when I literally called you and said, Keisha, hello?
That too. Right. Yeah. It's nice to have some of the obvious, you know, hey, over here.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I am so grateful that you did just allow me to have the space, and that I did have inspired choices to come back to or forward to in a way. And I love getting to work with the people.
Oh my gosh, right?
Getting to be a producer is a double joy for me, because we just have this amazing collection of amazing people.
We do.
So, and you get to, you playing at this with us is another piece of what makes this really incredible. So thank you for inspiring us.
You know, it's a dance we all do together. Yeah. So let's check out what's going on.
Let's do that. We have awesome shows coming up this week. Woohoo!
We have awesome shows. I mean, I don't know when we don't have awesome shows, but right. Okay, so here we are, our featured host last week. Keisha did May All Your Dreams Come Through. I love the title. You can, of course, check out the schedule here. You can see what's going on each and every day, all of our fabulous hosts. If you're looking to learn more about having your own show, we've got lots of information here, some fabulous videos up in here. And these 3 columns are our rotating columns, and it'll show you who was on most recently and what shows. You can connect to all of that, as well as our archive page over here. But starting off our Monday, we have the SOAR Experience with Lori Hawkins, and she has a guest, Charissa Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Crushed with Love and Intuition. Now,
such an interesting title. I can't wait to see what this is about.
I know, right? Crushed. Like, you think of having a crush on something. I wonder if that's it. Crushed with Love and Intuition. It's very, very cool. The SOAR Experience always has fabulous topics and conversations.
Mm-hmm. And then we dive right on in further to Monday with Are You Stuck in the Comparison Trap? And that is with our beautiful Junaline Banez Musi, who is Joy Vulnerability Pizza radio show host, Junaline. And she also has a fantastic book that has recently come out. Yes. It's right now, it's available in the e-version, and hard copy is forthcoming, but you can grab a copy of that at any of the links on her show page. It's called Dating for Expats, the Fab, Hot, and Single Woman's Guide to Finding Love.
And I was just in the Bahamas, and there is so many expats there, and really? You know, my son, tons of expats there. And my son lives in Bangkok, and there's tons of expats there. There are expats in so many countries. It's really cool. I love how she's honed in on that. Of course, that was her personal experience.
Oh, yeah. And of course, Junaline will tell you it's not just for expats. However, that was her experience that come from her story. So yeah.
Right. We follow up with Everyday Joy with Candace Mao, and we're not sure what surprise Candace has in for us this week, but she always has fabulous guests, where they're talking all about joy. So you definitely want to check that out. Candace
amazing conversation.
She is just joy walking. It's just so much fun.
It so is. And then we have our beautiful parent whisperer, her, Mary Dravis Parrish, who has a guest this week, Maria Forrest, and they are talking about helping children celebrate their differences. That is on her show, Be You Parenting. And you might have already spotted it. Mary actually is an author of a fabulous book as well, Empowered Parents, Empowering Kids. I love that. Yes. It is available at all of the Amazon links that you could probably grab onto, and it is a fantastic handbook for parenting. Even if you don't have children, you have maybe four-legged children or you have grandchildren, it's a fantastic book for creating some different possibilities and exploring some different possibilities for you and whichever young ones you're playing with, whatever age they might be. And
it really does empower you without judgment, which I love. Exactly. It is a really tremendous book.
Yes.
We then follow up with Corina Stoffel. Corina does Dancing Your Life, and she alternates between English and German. And this week it's going to be in German, and this is Rach Haben. I have no idea what that means. Do you know?
I do not. The graphic is a little bit of an indicator, perhaps.
Maybe what are you shouting about in your life? But it is, she does a very awesome show. She really gives a lot of space to her conversations and the topics. And we just love that she creates in 2 languages, which is a real gift.
She dances beautifully with it.
Yes.
And then we have Amy Wall, who's one of our newer hosts, and her show is Conscious Beauty Talk. This week she is talking about EFT, tapping for radiance. And Amy brings a completely, beautifully, refreshingly different perspective to play with around the entire scope of beauty.
Oh my gosh.
And it is amazing. And I know, Christine, you're playing with some of her practices.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. She teaches mirror work. That's one of her basics. And just doing that and spending that time where I've already made skincare a priority in my life. For the last 30 years, I've made skincare a priority of my life. And what she brought to the table, which is simplistic and powerful, I'm super loving. So yeah, definitely check that out. If you're looking for more from your skin without buying 16 new chemicals or creams or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very cool. We then follow up with Financially Speaking. This week, she has a very cool artist on her radio show, Paula Mold, sorry. And I'm not sure what they're going to be talking about, but
I love that picture.
It's a very cool photo. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about, art and what that's all about. So that'll be very, very cool. And of course, Kathy Cook Noble, who is the host of Financially Speaking, has her own book called All Ladies Should Use the F Word, a guide to loving your finances. And she does teach us how to do that, which is excellent.
And then we go into our fantastic pleasure seeker leader extraordinaire, the Pleasure Zone radio show's host, Melissa Jelinek. And her show this week is an exploration of crystals and sex. Mind you, I said crystals in the plural form. That is not crystal as in any illegal substances. So for anyone who might just be listening and might not have caught that. Melissa is an amazing body, what is she, movement expert, and she's amazing. And she has a really amazing way in her conversations about bodies, because that's usually the topic on the Pleasure Zone, that is just a really refreshing way to look at things about our bodies. And she invites us to do that from such a space of kindness and generosity. And I so appreciate that about Melissa.
She has a very wide variety of topics, from what many would think were taboo, but she's able to speak to them and about them in a way that allows us to be curious without feeling wrong.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. She talks a lot about history. She brings the history of words and how people have been treated in the past regarding these different areas. And she brings some really, pragmatic, hey, you want to pay attention to this type of information around any of the topics. So she is a gift. I just adore her.
And kicking off Wednesday,
Yes.
we have our amazing Elfie Joe. This week, she is offering her Chinese version. No, I'm sorry. The Dutch version of her show, 60 Seconds of Zen with Elfie Joe. And this is a new venture she has begun. And so she's inviting us to play with 60 Seconds of Zen, which you can actually look up on Facebook and find out more about. And Elfie always brings her masterfully musical creative element and creative in many other ways to give us just a different perspective on music, how it can be a creative outlet or creative support for us, and how music can show up in more than just the typical ways in our lives.
Yeah, it's so cool how she dances around with all of
them. Yes.
We then have In Pursuit of Truth with Aideen Tifanolo's radio show. This week, Aideen is speaking with August McLaughlin, and they're talking about pursuing the truth about girl boners.
That's an interesting topic.
doesn't happen very often that I pause, but
I love that you said that in a very newscasty kind of way.
Well, I all the topics before we do it.
We're all going to be tuning into this show.
It should be a good one, I'm sure. AD is fabulous on the radio, and she really does talk about truth in a new way and challenges us. So she's fabulous. And she also has a book. Here we go. It's called My Exquisite Purple Life. You can get the book or you can get the audio. And it is one of my very favorite books. Adie is fabulous at sharing her experience and showing us how that through her experiences and all of the challenges she's had, how she invites us to look at where that may be occurring in our lives and really phenomenal ideas on how to change that. So definitely pick up that book.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Then we have our beautiful Megan and Suzanne with Love, Life, and All Things Weird with the topic this week, Love the Life You Lead.
That's a good topic.
Yeah.
How many of us are constantly in the space of not loving our lives, waiting for them to happen, right?
Exactly.
Maybe we got it backwards.
Yes, and they're really good about bringing up new and interesting things for us to consider. So,
and then we have your show, and this week, Align Divine with Keisha Clark, Experiencing Human. That's a fabulous topic.
Experiencing Human. Yep. We all kind of do that, and we each do it a different way. And if you've ever, for anybody who's not heard any of my shows, one of the things I'm very forthcoming about is I have a different perspective of this whole being a spiritual being, having a human experience, or we could also say experiencing human. So we're going to dive into that this week.
That'll be fun.
A bit more. So yeah, come play.
That one. Woohoo! Then we have our most newest, my English may be off today. Our newest host that joined our network just last week, Jen Posix. This week she is talking about stop wasting money, boosting posts, and what to do instead. I think there's a few people I'm going to send this to.
Yes.
Check in and listen. I'm thrilled to have Jen Posix on the network. I mean, what a gift. If you are a business owner out there, you would not listen to her for what reason? Because this woman brings so much. We're so gifted.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, as in people giving us gifts continuously of their awareness, their intelligence. We have over 5,000 recorded shows that people can just search any topic. And if you're a business owner, I'm telling you, this is free education. And Jen is seriously a huge contribution.
Yeah, she is amazing. Amazing. And then we move into a lovely conversation with Danna Lewis on her show Luscious Leadership, and this week she is talking about transform your overwhelm to abundance. This is part of her harvest series, as we are just past the equinox. So it is Danna brings a lovely, very refreshing approach to a lot of topics that we might quickly go into some conclusion about. And Luscious Leadership is her, it's her thing. She does work with within the corporate world as well. And so she has a fun way of transcribing some of the lingo into kind of conventional applications as well. So if you're in the corporate world and you find that you might want a little bit something else to play with, Danna Lewis might just be someone for you to check out. And Luscious Leadership is very easy to catch on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Absolutely. She's fabulous.
Yeah.
Then we're following up with
who it is.
My show.
Oh my goodness. What are you talking about this week, Christine?
So this week I'm talking about how to become a conscious manifester.
Ooh,
so literally become a conscious manifester. A lot of people, like, here's my point of view. We're always creating. Maybe we're creating chaos. Maybe we're creating drama and trauma. Maybe we're just creating bills. But we're always creating. And what I want to invite people into is being conscious with manifesting. Yes. To really, really step into the consciousness and check in on where we're at and how we can really turn that up in a way that takes us out of expectation, takes us out of believing that we have to follow somebody else's stuff. You know what you know, but are you being conscious about what you know?
Exactly.
That's what we're going to talk about. So, yeah. So yeah, and I'd love for it to be another inspired choice for people. So that's what my show's about, is inspired choices, and that's what the network is all about. It's really, from my perspective, life is about choices, and it always has been what inspires me. And that's what has driven me, Keisha, for all of these years. It's like, what turns you on and lights you up? That what inspires you?
Yes.
And if it turns you on and lights you up, it is in my personal opinion, it is the universe sending you on a scavenger hunt to create more for yourself and the world around you.
I love that. Yes.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
And on that note,
yeah.
You can be inspired on your Friday as well. We kick off our live shows on Friday with Carla Taylor, and her show is Bring Your Brilliance. I love that. Yes. This week she's talking about how I grew my LinkedIn by 30% in 6 months. Yeah. And Carla is a LinkedIn aficionado mastress. Mistress.
She's a personal branding evangelist and LinkedIn strategist.
Amazing. Yes. So just maybe tune in and check her show out. Her conversations are, she also has some guests that she brings on to share their brilliance as well, because she is about bringing your brilliance. So, so check Carla out on Friday, or if you can't make it up to the live show, you can always find the podcast of any of our shows. And to take us into our next little bit of Friday, we have
Dr. Deborah Unipan, and Dr. Deborah Unipan does Awakening with Angels. This week, you can't live in darkness and expect positive to come to you. Now, she looks all zen and she looks all sweet, but I'll tell you, you get ready, because she brings it, and she calls you on your stuff, and she challenges us, and I love that. She doesn't play woohoo. She actually really calls people out, and she'll tell you the best stories. The best stories ever.
The best stories. Oh, I love this graph. So then we have Lisa Bennett, who is our resident space whisperer. I love all of our whisperers. She is talking this week on her show, Infinite Energies, about I've outgrown my space. And I think that's a really clever image that she's using.
Yeah.
So Lisa has an amazing capacity with spaces, and obviously she is able to communicate with spaces and allow people to have a greater awareness about their space, and maybe even a greater awareness about what and how their space can contribute to them and how they can do likewise. So what if including our space in our lives actually could make quite an amazing difference for us? So, and sometimes we do outgrow our space. So then what? And that's what she's going to be talking about.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. And we wrap up our fabulous week with a fabulous host, Dr. Andy. Dr. Andy's World. She's talking this week all about ears. I love her graphics. I don't know if she does them or somebody else does them for her.
She picked that one, and I happen to know she picked that one because I asked her. The energy of this graphic is so Dr. Andy to me. Like, this is the energy Dr. Andy brings to every show. Totally. So it's just good. Epitomizes the energy in her show.
It really, really does. So, you know, if you're looking for some fabulous shows, please do check that out. You can also check out whether you come directly to our network or not. We are live streaming on 51 platforms. You can catch us with your smartphone, with your computer, wherever you go. And after the fact, we podcast on more than 50 platforms as well. You can catch us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Radio Online, Podcast.com, Avast. I mean, I could go on and on. Apple, Google Play, like there's so many. And it's a gift to you from us to make this available for more ease so you can have more fun. So what do you know that you would love to share on the network, or who do you know that you would love to hear on our network? Please reach out. You can reach out to myself, any of the producers. You can catch us on all the social media platforms. And Keisha and I will be back next week, and we will likely have more of our players with us, another featured host, and we would love to have you join us. So come on over. Thank you, Keisha, for your time. Thank you for being an amazing host. And we will all see you on the air. Bye for now.